Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm continuing to read from Wine Comes in Six Packs, and if you haven't heard the rest of my readings, you can find all of them on either my YouTube page or my YouTube channel or on my webpage. They're all there. I also have book readings from It'll Feel Better When It Quits Hurting on there as well. If you like what you hear, I hope that you'll hit one of the buy links. You can find my books pretty much anywhere. Amazon, Kobo, Barnes and Noble, Smashwords, pretty much anywhere books are sold. And you can get it in paperback or you can get it in ebooks. So please, I hope you like it. Anyway, before we start, I am dyslexic. I do my best. If I make a mistake, please forgive me. Even I trip over even my own words, believe it or not. So anyway, here we go. And I will be reading I Just Buy Him a House. Sitting outside the courtroom, waiting to go in to finalize my divorce, Tom Petty's You're So Bad came on the radio, bringing a small smile to my face as I listened to the words while I screwed up my courage. With the last strains of the song playing, I squared my shoulders and prepared for my day in court. A divorce is never easy. It's harder when you're 21 years old and escaping an abusive husband. Worse still is standing up in a room full of strangers and forced to speak words you never wanted to share to justify the ending of a marriage that lasted less than 3 years. Mercifully, my soon-to-be ex-husband was not there, and after only a brief consultation, the judge granted me my freedom. Walking away from the courtroom, my mother turned to me and said, "I need a drink," and I couldn't agree with her more. My mother chose a bar near the river, a favorite drinking spot of hers from years ago. It was an older one, perpetually dim, even in the morning light shining brightly outside its window. A smoky haven for the dedicated drinkers, third shift workers, and us. Walking through the door, I immediately knew we looked out of place in the seedy establishment, as silent eyes watched over half-empty glasses, watching our progress as we bellied up to the bar. I could almost feel their vague resentments at our entrance. If my mother was aware of it, she dismissed their unspoken disapproval at our intrusion into their world and waved over the bartender to order. Taking our drinks in hand, my mother turned to me and raised hers in a half salute, and I returned it with a nod. Tasting the alcohol with a slow, familiar burn as it went down, gradually beginning to ease the fears I had held in all morning. It was over. Finally, and completely over. Staring down into my almost empty glass, I sighed as I watched the ice clink down in its newly uncovered state. As if drawn to that soft sound, the bartender returned. "Another?" With an affirmative nod from both of us, we began round two. By our third round, a warm camaraderie began to envelop my mother and me as the bar accepted us as one of their own. One gentleman at the end of the bar had been telling stories to the amusement of those around him since we had walked in the door. He wasn't too particular who his audience was, directing them at anyone who happened to be looking his way. Even our entrance had barely caused him to pause between stories. After a while, though, our clothes and somber, if sloshed, demeanor attracted his attention. "So," he drawled, "what brings the two of you here to this fine establishment so early in the day?" "Divorce," my mother answered. "Ah," giving a vague wave at nothing. "Condolences." "No, no," pointing at me, "my daughter's, not mine." "I'm going to guess you're first, then?" Nodding, I agreed. "Don't let it get at you," giving me a wink. I shrugged, not sure what else to say or how to express the equal parts devastation and delight I was experiencing. The alcohol had been slowly chipping away at the hard ball of tension that had settled into my stomach before going into court, and as my anxiety diminished, I felt the first stirrings of a smile, briefly sharing it with our storyteller. Moving down to sit closer to us, he and my mother began exchanging stories, laughing as they did so. Looking over at me on occasion as they swapped stories and buying each other rounds, they continued to talk. I had little to say, but I enjoyed the feeling of being included while drinking whatever they put in front of me. Eventually, the stories shifted over to relationships, generally broken ones, were exchanged between the two of them, with random interjections from those sitting nearby. Happily married people aren't known for day drinking in a bar, or if they are, they don't stay happily married for long. Once more smiling at me, the happy storyteller says, "I'll tell you the secret of my happiness." "Okay," shrugging my agreement, willing to listen to whatever improbable tale he had to tell. "I have been married 3 times, looking me straight in the eye and holding up 3 fingers above his head, and then bringing his hand down to slap on the bar for emphasis. And it was getting damn expensive. I can imagine so agreeing with him completely. So now, whenever I get that marrying urge again, I start looking around the bar for someone completely wrong for me, and I just buy him a house, shaking my head and chuckling at his unusual, if improbable, solution. No, no, waving his arms in front of me, it's the perfect solution. I end up in exactly the same place I would have without all the drama of the in-between parts, leaving me time to sit miserably happy in the bar without interruption. Giving me a wicked grin, he patted the bar stool next to him. So, what kind of house would you like, dear lady? Shaking my head at his offer, but giving him my first truly genuine laugh in almost 3 years, I said, a nice one. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this story. Again, you can find all the rest of my book readings on my website or on my YouTube channel. And if you like what you've heard, I hope that you will go and take a chance on an indie author and purchase one of them. So anyway, you guys have a great week, and I will be back next Sunday. And until then, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.